They say the end goal of working is a stable office job. But after pulling an all-nighter at an internet cafe and dropping dead, I woke up as a national treasure, a mutated black and gold giant python. Being a cold-blooded beast is great. No school, no work, just breathing while people pamper me. Talk about instant financial freedom. In 3 years, I hit over 7,000 pounds, becoming the king of Yunding Zoo. I have dozens of 7 to 8 meter-long snake lackeys sliding behind me. My only complaint, no built-in thermostat. If I could just evolve a temperature-regulated body, I could just lie back and sunbathe all year. A pampered life of effortless eating is pure bliss. To avoid turning into a giant, lazy worm, I roll around in the mud for exercise. Suddenly a kid shouts, "Mom, look in the mud. That big earthworm is so black and ugly." The childish voice drifted down from a passing cable car. Ugly earthworm. Hey, watch your manners, kid. I am a 3.5-ton amphibious armored vehicle, and you use those words to describe me. Annoyed, I raised my massive triangular head larger than a water barrel and peered toward the sound. Clinging to the cable car railing was a little boy, maybe 6 or 7, clutching a plastic Iron Man toy in his chubby hand. His round little face was full of wonder. I flicked my long black tongue, bared my fangs, and gave him what I thought was a warm, friendly smile. Wow, Mom, look, the giant snake is alive. He's smiling at me. He's so cool. He did not even flinch. Instead, he bounced with excitement. My 2 snake lackeys popped up from underwater, eyeing the cable car like they wanted to play with it. I immediately slammed my tail down, splashing water everywhere, and hissed to make them back off. If they broke that cable car, my premium black pig feast tomorrow would be canceled. The cable car slowly crawled closer, stopping at the 20-meter safety line. Big black snake, big boss, the little boy, cheered, waving his toy. In a great mood, I slithered out of the mud and onto the bank, stretching my massive body, which was as thick as a heavy semi-truck. The sun hit my tough black and gold scales, reflecting a cold metallic gleam. My God, that snake is massive. It's like a prehistoric titanoboa. The tourists gasped, whipping out their phones to snap photos like excited fans. He has to weigh at least 7,000 or 8,000 pounds, someone yelled. I bet the Siberian tiger next door wouldn't last a single bite. Who do you think wins in a fight, this python or the tiger? A middle-aged man in gold-rimmed glasses asked. A guy in a loud floral shirt immediately chimed in. Tiger, obviously, the king of beasts, has speed and claws, a pure killing machine. What is a python anyway? Just a giant spicy strip. You know nothing, a young girl in a designer dress snapped back, rolling her eyes. A python's constriction power is unmatched. Once it wraps around that big cat's neck, it is over in minutes. Tigers look tough, but wrapped up, they're just dead meat. The guy shot back, annoyed. Are you blind? A tiger can swipe a python's eyes out with one paw. How is it going to wrap around anything? Besides one bite to the throat, and the snake is in 2 pieces. You are the idiot, the girl argued, crossing her arms. Knives cannot even scratch those scales. This snake is as thick as a water main. It would definitely drag that tiger into the mud and crush it. All right, let us not fight, the tour guide chimed in through a megaphone. Both are star attractions here. The floral shirt guy scoffed, whispering, an earthworm is still an earthworm. It cannot compare to the king of beasts. The girl smirked. Look how slow that python is. It lacks the fierce majesty of Wildwind, our resident tiger. Constrictor, more like a giant noodle. Hearing that, I almost lost my mind. Wildwind is the big cat who usually wets himself through the fence when I look at him. Me crushed by him. I am the king of this entire domain. I could take 10 of those big cats at once. As I prepared to flex my heavy muscles and show off the ground, suddenly vibrated. A wild, terrifyingly cold energy drifted over from the predator zone. Danger, extreme danger. The steel fence in front was suddenly torn apart by a massive force. Piercing alarms instantly shattered the quiet park. What is going on? Something is rushing this way. The tourists on the cable car shrieked. Panic erupted. Fear of the unknown gripped everyone. Run. Get out of here. A park patrol vehicle sped past in terror. The security officer inside screamed hysterically at the cable car operators. The tiger in the predator exhibit mutated. He killed his keeper and is heading for the main path. The patrol vehicle roared away toward the exit. Mutated. Everyone froze. Why panic? We are suspended high in the air. The floral shirt guy scoffed. Tigers cannot fly. At most, it runs underneath us. Hey, you said the python is invincible, right? He turned to provoke the young girl. Let your dumb snake fight Wildwind. Let us see who the real king is." The girl turned pale, ignoring him completely. She was staring at a massive shadow bursting from the woods like yellow lightning. With a deafening crash, several thick trees snapped. A terrifying mutated giant tiger broke through the woods. Its size defied human belief, a full 8 meters long, and its shoulder height was taller than a heavy SUV. Most shockingly, from its jaws grew 2 saber teeth, over 1/2 meter long. Its fur stood on end like steel needles, and its eyes burned crimson with murderous rage. Worst of all, the tiger's body was visibly expanding right before our eyes. Is this really Wildwind, the lazy cat who usually begs for chicken scraps? This is a straight-up genetic mutation. The mutated saber-toothed tiger let out a deafening roar, locking its bloodthirsty eyes onto the crowded cable car. Screams pierced the sky. The floral shirt guy, who had been boasting, was paralyzed with fear, a warm puddle forming around his feet. The young girl was shaking violently, trying to crawl under her seat. Everyone tried to flee, but the panicked operator had pulled the emergency brake, leaving the car stuck in midair. "Help! Move the car! It is jumping!" Wildwind let out a spine-chilling roar that rumbled like thunder. Its massive body launched off the ground like a heavy artillery shell, heading straight for the 5-meter-high cable car. In the blink of an eye, the giant tiger's heavy paw slammed into the metal chassis. The multi-ton cabin tilted violently, nearly derailing. Glass shattered instantly, throwing passengers to the floor. The little boy Xuan Xuan was thrown by the momentum, sliding right through the broken window frame. He hung suspended in midair. Xuan Xuan. His mother lunged forward frantically, grabbing his hand. But the cabin shook violently, and Wildwind's massive head was already at the window, opening jaws wide enough to swallow adults. He lunged straight for the hanging boy. The beast was smart, targeting the easiest prey. It was a complete nightmare. Yet in this critical second, the little boy did not cry. Looking at the approaching fangs, he threw his plastic Iron Man toy at the beast. "Big black snake run. He is a big monster. Iron Man will get him." The toy bounced off the tiger's nose, not even a tickle to the beast, but it angered the brutal predator. I froze, faced with certain death. This 6-year-old child did not scream for his mother or pass out. Instead, he used his tiny toy to try and protect me, the big black snake. A rush of complex emotions surged through my soul, striking my numb, corporate slave heart. In my past life, I was exploited and walked over with no one to stand up for me. Now I am a cold-blooded beast, yet a human child is risking his life to protect me. My vertical slit pupils constricted. An indescribable rage erupted from my chest. "Screw you, mutated big cat. If I do not twist you into a pretzel today, I will write my name, Lin Fan, backward." A deafening, dragon-like roar erupted from my throat. My massive 3.5-ton body launched forward with terrifying explosive speed, tearing through the air. Like black lightning, I slammed straight into the giant tiger just as its fangs were about to reach the boy. Boom dust exploded. The second before its teeth touched him, I opened my massive jaws and bit down hard on Wildwind's thick neck. With a sickening crunch, my fangs sank deep into his flesh. Howling in agony, the beast was forced to abandon the boy and turn his massive body toward me, slashing his razor-sharp claws at my head. "Look, the black snake is saving the kid," the tourist cried. Having narrowly escaped death, they sobbed and cheered. The guy who had been mocking me was now sobbing hysterically, staring down. The boy's mother pulled her child back into the cabin, weeping as she held him. But the little boy clung to the broken window, crying out, "Go Black Dragon General. Beat the monster." A brutal clash between 2 apex predators erupted in the jungle. Wildwind's mutated strength was insane. His claws, sharp as steel daggers, slashed violently against my tough scales, throwing sparks everywhere. Any ordinary python would have been gutted. But I had spent 3 years eating and sleeping to reach peak physical form. My scales shrieked under the pressure, but I did not let go. Instead, I began to wrap around him. 1 coil, 2, 3, my terrifying constriction force exploded. Crack, crack, crack. I heard his ribs snapping. Wildwind thrashed wildly, his crimson eyes burning with mad fury as he opened his jaws to bite through my body. His long fangs stabbed hard into my back. A wave of agonizing pain hit me. Damn, that hurts. But I knew I could not let him breathe. It had to be a kill shot. My muscles flexed hard, pushing my strength to the absolute limit. Then I unleashed my deadliest python move, the death coil. Like a hydraulic press weighing 3.5 tons, my body squeezed with terrifying crushing force, squeezing tighter and tighter as we thrashed around. Trees shattered instantly under our weight and blood painted the dirt. High above, tourists in the cable car held their breath, praying for the giant serpent fighting to save them. After 3 minutes of intense constriction, Gale's tough body finally cracked under the pressure. With one last desperate agonizing roar, the mutated tiger's chest collapsed completely under my brutal grip. His organs ruptured and his struggles died out. The giant tiger twitched on the ground, his last good eye staring at me in sheer terror and resentment before going completely cold. But I didn't let go just yet. I kept squeezing for another 5 minutes to make sure he was dead. Gasping for breath, I finally uncoiled. A sharp pain shot through my back, making me flick my tongue. That mutated cat was tough. He won, the black snake won. Oh my God, he killed it. Cheers erupted from the cable car as people stared in awe. A little boy named Xuan jumped up shouting, "General Black Dragon is invincible, you are the best." Hearing that ridiculous title, I mentally rolled my eyes. Just a minute ago I was a giant worm, now I am a general. Humans change so fast. I slithered toward the mud, dragging my exhausted body to the bank to rest. Suddenly a cold voice rang in my mind. Ding, heroic act detected. Pure faith energy gathered. The Infinite Devour and Purify system is now active. Claim your starter pack. Hearing this, my massive snake body shuddered in disbelief. Web novels did not lie to me. After 3 years of being reincarnated as a snake, my cheat code has finally arrived. Swallowing my excitement, I roared in my mind, "Claim, give it to me now. Ding, starter pack granted." Congratulations, you have received 1 drop of Ancient Heaven Swallowing Python Bloodline, stored in inventory. Current stats cannot fuse this yet. You also received 1 basic healing potion and a high-grade purification crystal. +1 spin on the lucky wheel. Hearing this, I almost squealed with joy. While the Python bloodline was locked, the healing potion and purification crystals were a godsend. I instantly used the basic healing potion. Instantly, a cool, soothing warmth rushed through my body. The deep claw marks and bite wounds scabbed over and flaked off. In under 10 seconds, I was back to being a fierce forest predator. I flicked my tongue happily. I closed my eyes to check my system panel. Host Lin Fan. Species mutated black gold python. Level tier 1 mutant. Reputation 1500 points from gratitude and awe. Skills death coil, venom. Spit and more to unlock. System tip, gather human emotions to spin the lucky wheel or devour mutated beasts and crystals for energy. Got it. I just need to show off, cause trouble, and gain fans. That is basically the classic influencer playbook. I know this game well. But as I celebrated, loud sirens and engine roars echoed. The park's armed security and rescue choppers finally arrived, pointing a dozen heavy tranquilizer rifles right at me on the ground. "Don't shoot! He's our savior!" The tourists screamed. Even the arrogant guy in the floral shirt threw a fire extinguisher, yelling, "Are you blind? Can't you see this giant python was protecting us? Call a vet. See if he is hurt." The tactical captain was baffled. He expected a bloody battle between 2 monsters, but instead this python was a hero. "Lower your weapons." Suddenly a military jeep sped toward us. The jeep skidded to a halt near the water. Out jumped a tall, stunning woman in a lab coat and gold-rimmed glasses, carrying a massive medical kit. It was my personal keeper and lead researcher, Chu Wan-Q. She is a top-tier biologist who spent millions of her own money to upgrade my meals. Half of my massive muscles are thanks to her. "Xiao Fan, are you okay?" she called out. Chu Wan-Q ignored the guards and rushed straight to me. Seeing me covered in blood, her cold eyes welled up, and tears streamed down. "Dr. Chu, stay back," the captain yelled. "He might be highly aggressive." Aggressive, my foot. I lazily raised my head, nudged Chu Wan-Q's leg, and let out a soft burp. "He is perfectly fine," she whispered, wiping away her tears as she quickly began checking my body. When she realized my wounds had miraculously healed, her eyes flared with shock. But she was smart, immediately blocking the view with her body so the guards wouldn't notice. "Xiao Fan is a good boy," she declared. "He saved everyone." Standing up, she told the captain lock down the park. The tiger mutated heavily. Notify the special department for a full investigation. Soon the tourists were safely evacuated from the cable car. As they left, little Xuan waved from afar, yelling, "Goodbye, General Black Dragon, I will come back to see you." I grinned and flicked my tongue. Ding gained a loyal fan. Reputation points plus 500. Awesome. Being a hero pays off big time. That afternoon, the video of a 15-meter python battling a mutated tiger to save humans exploded online, instantly topping the trending charts on every social media platform. Clips of my brutal death coil went viral as GIFs. The comments blew up. Wow, a true guardian deity. This giant snake is so smart it actually saved a kid. From now on, this python is my boss. If anyone calls snakes cold-blooded, again, I am fighting them. Chu Wangqiu's personal account blew up too. Her follower count skyrocketed from a few thousand to over 3 million in just half a day. By evening, Chu Wangqiu drove a refrigerated truck to my enclosure. Inside was premium pork, whole chickens, and 2 prepared cattle. Xiaofan, you did amazing today. I spent my entire budget to give you this feast. She set up her tripod to stream, and over 100,000 viewers instantly flooded in, lagging the screen with comments. Brother Fan is legendary. Feed him well. Don't starve our glorious general. Seeing this, I knew it was prime time to farm reputation points. Slithering out of the mud, I flexed my massive body for the camera. Chu Wangqiu threw down a massive steer, but I didn't gulp it down. Instead, I used my tail to pull the steer over in a very human way. Looking straight at the camera, I parted my fanged mouth and forced a cute, gentle smile. I even used my tail tip to make a heart sign. The chat went wild. No way that snake is acting like a human. He just blew a heart and he's smiling. Is this a python or a puppy? The stream went absolutely crazy. Virtual gifts flooded the screen. Principal Wong sent 100 super rockets and Miss Lee sent 50 carnivals. Along with the donations system, alerts in my mind popped off like firecrackers. Ding. Gained massive worship. Reputation plus 1,000. Reputation plus 2,000 reputation broke 10,000. Reward 3 bronze chests. Happily devouring my meal, I yelled in my mind. System open all 3 bronze chests. And use my lucky spin. Ding chest opened. You received 2 bone-strengthening potions and the Venomous Fang's passive skill, adding paralysis and acid to your bites. Ding lucky spin successful. You received a life detection radar to track mutated energy within 10 miles. Jackpot. I immediately used the potions and fangs. A subtle popping sound echoed deep within my bones. My scales darkened into a deep ghostly black. Though my size remained the same, my bone density and flexibility had doubled. If I fought Gale now, I wouldn't even need to coil. 1 bite of venom would melt him into a puddle of blood. Chu Wangqiu watched me eat with pride, but her brow furrowed as if she was worried. While swallowing pork, my sharp thermal vision detected her body temperature fluctuating. She seemed afraid. Suddenly her phone rang. A deep, authoritative male voice spoke. Wangqiu, the military special division reports that it is not just Gale. Multiple animal mutations have appeared deep in the forest reserve. Mutated beasts are attacking humans. We detected a massive energy source. Something big is happening tonight. Take that Python Lin Fan and evacuate to the underground bunker immediately. Do not stay outside. The caller was her father, General Chu Pojin of the regional military. Chu Wangqiu's face went pale. What is that energy source artificial mutation? Her father sighed. International mercenaries sneaked deep into the reserve. They are using experimental drugs to force animal mutations, aiming to harvest high-grade cores. Gale was just one of their failed tests. Hearing this, I froze mid-bite, slowly swallowing my food. My cold, slitted eyes stared into the dark forest. So that was it. I had wondered why that cowardly cat had mutated so ridiculously. Humans were pulling the strings. Suddenly, memories from this snake's past flashed in my mind. 3 years ago, my snake companion was brutally killed and skinned by poachers. This reserve is my home and my territory. You dare trigger a biochemical crisis on my turf and almost kill my human and my little fan. These mercenaries must have a death wish. Chu Wangqiu hung up, shut down her stream, and ran over in a panic, crying, Xiaofan, we have to go. It's not safe here. She tried to pull me, but with my 3.5-ton weight, she could barely budge me. Ignoring Chu Wangqiu's panic, I snapped my head up toward the pitch-black primeval forest deep inside the ecological zone. My newly installed life detection radar was flashing. A swarm of red dots was closing in on my territory from all directions like a rising tide. Even worse, one massive red dot radiated a terrifying energy signature several times stronger than the fierce gale from earlier today, by several times. Meanwhile, the stealthy hum of drones echoed in the night sky. Sharp red laser beams pierced the darkness, locking right onto my massive black-gold body. Target acquired. Top-tier mutated python located. Highly valuable for research. Capture it alive. A mercenary's cold voice crackled over the radio in the dark jungle. Suddenly, a wild, ear-splitting screech, far more savage than anything from earlier today, shattered the night sky. Trees shook violently, and it wasn't just one. 5 mutated giant apes, each over 5 meters tall, stepped out of the tree line. Leading them was a massive 8-meter-tall silverback covered in shaggy silver fur. They didn't just have insane strength, they were clutching entire uprooted trees as weapons. Staring at the sea of glowing crimson eyes, Chu Wangqiu collapsed in absolute despair, her face pale as death. I glanced at her shivering form, then turned to face those arrogant mercenaries and mutated apes. Instead of backing down, I let out a low, rumbling hiss that sounded like distant thunder. System devour all 10 of those high-grade purification crystals right now. Ding. Consuming high-grade purification crystals. Energy infusion in progress. Congratulations, host, on breaking through the Tier 2 mutation bottleneck. Evolution triggered. Transforming into the Abyss Blackwater Python. In an instant, a torrent of violent energy exploded inside me. Under the moonlight, my body began to balloon. 18 meters, 20 meters, 25 meters. The scales on my back erupted like jagged black blades gleaming with a terrifying icy light. 2 distinct bulges even swelled on my head as if something was fighting to burst out. With a lazy flick of my massive tail, I tore a deep trench right into the earth. Turning slowly, I shielded Chu Wangqiu behind me. Like a demon god descending upon the world, I raised my massive head and unleashed a deafening roar into the dark forest. It was an ancient, bone-shaking screech that could shatter eardrums. You want to capture me, want to drain my blood, let's see who's the real prey tonight. Come on, let the bloody slaughter begin. That ancient roar whipped up a sudden gale, flattening entire rows of trees along the bank. Behind me, Chu Wangqiu huddled on the ground, covering her ears in sheer shock. Staring at my massive 25-meter body, she forgot to breathe. Opposite us, the 5 mutated apes froze. Their walnut-sized brains couldn't comprehend how a 15-meter snake could suddenly balloon to this size in seconds. Fire. Shoot his eyes out first. The mercenary leader's voice roared from the shadows, thick with panic. Rat-a-tat. Muzzle flashes lit up the woods as a hail of armor-piercing bullets rained down on me. I sneered. Dodge, please. I'm the Abyss Blackwater Python now. Instead of backing away, I lunged forward, closed my eyes, lowered my head, and took the impact directly on the heavy scales of my back. A metallic clatter erupted in the night as sparks flew. These custom rounds could easily rip through armored vehicles, yet against my black-gold scales, they only left faint white scratches. My skin wasn't even grazed. What the hell? How is this possible? Terrified screams echoed from the trees. Is that a snake or a main battle tank? Seizing the moment they reloaded, I struck. My 25-meter body wasn't sluggish at all. With my newly boosted muscle power, I moved like a streak of black lightning, tearing across the ground. Swoosh. I plunged right into the pack of giant apes, kicking up a storm of dead leaves. The 5 mutated apes quickly closed in, trying to overwhelm me with numbers. Leading the charge, the 8-meter silverback swung his massive tree straight at my vital spot, bringing a foul stench with it. A defeated loser dares to face me again, I sneered. Slamming my thick tail against the ground, I launched myself into the air, executing a flawless dodge. Then, acting like a giant whip of solid steel, my massive tail coiled with devastating kinetic energy. Crack, boom! My tail slammed directly into a 5-meter tall giant ape. The beast didn't even have time to shriek before my blow literally folded its body in half midair. The sound of shattering bones echoed like firecrackers. It was thrown dozens of meters like a rag doll, smashing violently into a distant cliff. It never moved again. An instant kill. Absolute effortless devastation. Ding. Slain, Tier 1 mutated ape. Gained 5,000 purification points. The system notification made me grin. These aren't monsters, they are walking experience points. The remaining 4 apes, including the silverback, stood frozen in shock by my strike. Panic and raw terror finally flickered in their eyes. Want to run now? Too late, I lunged forward with a deafening roar, using my massive coils to instantly trap the fleeing silverback. You overgrown monkey, I am giving you an extreme chiropractic adjustment today. Crack. Activating my venomous fangs, I sank them deep into his shoulder, injecting a lethal dose of paralyzing and corrosive toxins. His genetically enhanced muscles turned black and rotted instantly. Screaming in agony, he clawed desperately at my scales. But against my 25-meter crushing coils, his struggle was pathetic. In less than 10 seconds, the silverback bled from every facial orifice and went completely limp. Ding. Slain Tier 2 mutant silverback. Gained 20,000 purification points. Host is unmatched, dominating the battlefield. Reputation points increased. Seeing their leader get instantly crushed, the remaining 3 apes completely broke down and fled in panic. I didn't bother chasing them. The real threat lay with the heavily armed mercenaries in the woods. Tossing the silverback's corpse aside, my cold, slitted eyes locked onto the shadows hiding in the trees. Retreat. Fall back now. We can't handle this thing. The mercenary leader finally realized how screwed they were, screaming at his men, as 3 modified all-terrain vehicles switched on their bright lights, reversing frantically. You think you can just wander into my territory and leave whenever you want? Coiling my massive 25-meter body, I launched myself forward and slammed down like a falling mountain, completely blocking their escape path. Ram him. Run him over. The leader slammed his dashboard. The lead driver didn't hesitate, slamming his foot on the gas and roaring straight toward me. I flicked my tongue in absolute contempt. Ramming me with my black gold armor and massive multi-ton weight, you think I am afraid of a tin can. Standing firm, I met the speeding vehicle head-on like an indestructible wall. Crash! The deafening sound of tearing metal shattered the night. The speeding vehicle hit me like it hit a solid mountain. Its front end crumpled into scrap metal instantly, and the force of the impact launched it straight into the air, flipping 3 times before smashing into a tree and exploding. The mercenaries inside died instantly. Terrified, the other 2 drivers slammed on their brakes tires, shrieking against the dirt and kicking up thick, foul-smelling smoke. The remaining mercenaries scrambled out, aiming heavy grenade launchers straight at me. Die, prehistoric freak. 2 high-explosive grenades whistled through the air, trailing fire. Once again, I didn't even flinch because Chu Won-kyu was huddled right behind me. If I moved, the blast would tear her to shreds. I'll just have to tank it. Lowering my head, I pushed my scales defense to the absolute limit. Boom. Massive explosions engulfed me. Blinding fire and smoke completely swallowed my massive frame. Direct hit. We got him. The mercenaries cheered in triumph. From behind, Chu Won-kyu screamed my name in despair, trying to rush forward despite the danger, only to be knocked down by the shockwave. But as the smoke cleared, their triumph instantly turned into pure terror. I was still standing there, completely unmoved. Aside from a few blackened scales on my back, emitting thin wisps of white smoke, I was completely unharmed. Not a single scale was broken. That's it. Did you guys skip breakfast? I bared my teeth in a mocking hiss. Then, opening my jaws, I spat a massive stream of corrosive pitch-black venom. The acid splashed directly onto the second vehicle, melting through the metal chassis in seconds. The men inside screamed as they dissolved into a bloody soup. Only the leader survived, crawling out, covered in blood, his eyes wild with terror and despair. This is impossible. Not even our lab's ultimate bioweapon has this kind of defense in venom. Shaking, he pulled a steel syringe from his pocket. It was filled with an eerie, glowing green fluid. You forced my hand, monster. We are going down together. Without hesitating, he plunged the needle into his neck, dumping the green fluid straight into his veins. He let out a horrific, inhuman shriek of pure agony as his muscles began to warp and swell. His clothes ripped to shreds as his body ballooned. Thick, brown, leathery hide covered his skin. His hands warped into giant claws and sharp fangs tore through his gums. In seconds, he mutated into a monstrous beast nearly 5 meters tall. Ding. Warning. Target has injected high-concentration mutagenic serum and evolved into a Tier 3 mutant, the Bio-Grizzly. This creature is immune to pain and highly aggressive. Proceed with caution. With blood-red eyes, the Bio-Grizzly roared and lunged at me. His 5-meter frame was tiny compared to my 25-meter length, but I couldn't afford to be careless. The beast's speed was absolutely blinding. Leaping high, he slammed his razor-sharp claws onto my neck. Sparks flew as he managed to scratch 3 shallow marks into my scales. Impressive, actually scratching my armor. I lashed my tail out to crush him, but this monster was incredibly agile, scrambling up my body onto my back. It raised fists the size of sandbags, hammering my head in a wild frenzy. Bang, bang, bang. Every strike packed massive force, making my head spin. They really think I am a pushover. Do you think I am a mere water snake? I snapped. Straightening my upper body, I lifted that bio-bear on my back, over 10 meters into the air. Then I executed a gravity slam, hurling its massive body violently into the dirt. Boom. The earth literally shook. Pinned beneath me, the bio-bear had half its organs shattered instantly. Before it could react, my 25-meter body coiled around it in a vice grip. The ultimate death wrap. Crack, crack, crack. The bear's tough bones began to splinter under the pressure. Cracking desperately, I opened my massive maw and injected my most lethal venom directly into its open wounds. The toxin instantly extinguished its final spark of life. Under my crushing coils, this once mighty Tier 3 bio-bear was reduced to a broken, lifeless corpse. I uncoiled and tossed the carcass aside, scanning the messy battlefield. Such weaklings actually dared to cause trouble on my turf. Just a light appetizer. Ding, you have defeated a Tier 3 bio-bear, earning 50,000 points of purification energy. Host successfully wiped out the poachers and saved the ecological reserve, earning massive reputation points. Your reputation has surpassed 100,000. Congratulations on unlocking the achievement Guardian of the Valley. Would you like to spend 100,000 reputation points for a high-tier draw now? Draw absolutely, spin it. I was cheering inside. Ding, high-tier draw in progress. Congratulations, host. You have obtained the passive ability, Miracle of Warm Blood. You can now regulate your body temperature freely, no longer suffering the winter hibernation weaknesses of cold-blooded creatures. Congratulations. You have also obtained the active skill, Elemental Breath Annihilation Black Flame. You can now spit high-temperature black fire that incinerates everything. Perfect. I seriously want to give this system a massive thumbs up. With my new warm-blooded body, I can roam around outside in the winter without a single care. I slithered slowly toward Chu Wang-Q. She was still sitting on the ground, staring blankly at me, the wrecked off-road vehicles, and the dead mercenaries. Her eyes were filled with absolute shock and disbelief. Xiaofan, she whispered hesitantly, her voice trembling. She was probably terrified that I had lost control and would swallow her whole. I rolled my giant eyes. Come on, I am not some brainless beast. I slithered forward with elegant, unhurried movements right up to her. My massive body loomed over her like a dark wall casting a deep shadow. Lowering my head, which was literally larger than a car, I brought it close and gently nudged her hand with my cold snout just like the old days. I flicked my tongue to reassure her. Instantly, Chu Wang-Q burst into tears. She threw herself forward, wrapping her arms around my rough, hard scales, sobbing uncontrollably. Xiaofan, you scared me to death. I thought you had mutated and forgotten who I was. Do you have any idea how dangerous that was? I felt a bit helpless. Why do women cry so easily? Still considering all that high-quality black pork she feeds me, I guess I can let her hug me for a second. Suddenly, loud helicopter rotors echoed. Over a dozen armed military helicopters swarmed in from all directions. Their powerful searchlights instantly turned the dark forest as bright as day. Dozens of fully equipped special forces soldiers began sliding down ropes, quickly surrounding the entire area. Leading the unit was a square-jawed, stern, middle-aged man wearing a high-ranking officer's uniform. It was Chu Wang-Q's father, General Chu Pojin. As he stared at the scattered bodies of the mercenaries and the bio-bear dissolved into a pool of black toxic sludge, his gaze finally locked onto me. A terrifying 25-meter giant covered in gleaming black gold scales. Even a battle-hardened veteran like him could not hide his shock. Dad Chu Wang-Q quickly wiped her tears and stood up. Are you all right, Wang-Q? Her father asked, rushing over to inspect her. After confirming she was completely unharmed, he finally let out a long sigh of relief. Then he pointed at me warily. Is that Lin Fan? The giant python from the reserve, Chu Wang-Q, puffed out her chest proudly. Yes, Dad, it was all thanks to Xiaofan tonight. He fought off the mutated giant, took on a heavily armed squad of poachers alone, and even strangled a monster injected with rage serum. Hearing this, the surrounding special forces soldiers gasped. This combat record, this insane power, was he a prehistoric god? Chu Pojin stared deeply at me. In my cold, slit eyes, he did not see the wild, mindless bloodlust of a beast. There was only calm intelligence and maybe a hint of pure disdain, and yes, I was absolutely judging them. I was mocking him for being so slow. I had already cleared the entire map, and they only showed up for cleanup duty. Taking a deep breath, this legendary general actually gave me a crisp official military salute. Lin Fan, thank you. Thank you for protecting our reserve and our people. From this day on, the Special Affairs Bureau officially registers you. Codename Guardian Black Dragon. You will receive maximum protection and care. Hearing that title, I was thrilled. Guardian Black Dragon. Now that is a badass anime-style name. I loved it. But most importantly, top-tier treatment meant my daily meals were about to get a massive upgrade from standard black pork to something even more delicious. I nodded in satisfaction and even raised the tip of my tail in a mock salute. Holy crap, he actually understood. All hail the Guardian Black Dragon. The soldiers cheered, eyes full of awe. Ding, you have earned massive respect from the military. Reputation points surged by 20,000. Over the next 6 months, my life changed completely. The military took direct control of our reserve, upgrading it to a national-level biological base. And as the absolute star of the facility, I was given a massive custom-built 10,000 square meter climate-controlled lair. My daily menu featured premium seafood and gourmet meats, along with special nutrient fluids packed with spiritual energy developed just for me by military scientists. My body grew steadily toward 50 meters. The video of that little boy throwing his Iron Man toy to save me while I shredded a saber-toothed tiger was turned into a documentary racking up over 1 billion views online. I had officially become a global sensation. International media went crazy sharing my videos, claiming the Eastern superpower possessed an ancient colossus. Thousands of fans crowded the base walls daily just hoping to catch a glimpse of me. Chu Won-kyu was now my personal liaison. She drove her patrol cart around my lair grinning from ear to ear. Thanks to my popularity, she was granted over 100 million in research funding. Xiaofan lunchtime, she called out one afternoon, driving up in a heavy cargo truck. Dozens of logistics staff unloaded several tons of mutated walrus meat. It was a beast, intercepted in nearshore waters, transported here specifically as my special treat. I lazily poked my massive head out of my lair and swallowed the giant walrus whole. My strong digestive system instantly dissolved it. Ding consumed mutated walrus, gaining water attribute purification energy. Letting out a satisfied burp, I settled onto my custom-built artificial beach to enjoy the sun. Life was beautifully peaceful. No job to worry about, just eating, sleeping, and having humans cater to my every whim. This was the ultimate retirement for a giant beast. But just as I was drifting off to sleep, a sharp air defense siren suddenly shattered the quiet sky. Red warning lights flashed frantically across the base. I snapped my cold, slit eyes open, instantly irritated. What the hell's going on? Can a snake not get a nap around here? Do they not know ruining my sleep makes me lose scales? Wait, I am warm-blooded now. Still no excuses. Before I could snap, Chu Won-kyu came running out of the command center, her hair messy and her face completely pale. She clutched a military tablet tightly in her trembling hands. Xiaofan, something terrible has happened. Her voice shook with total despair. Our coastal defense line has collapsed. I tilted my massive head and flicked my tongue. Collapsed. How the spiritual revival only started 6 months ago? Are human missiles and jets useless? Chu Won-kyu turned the screen toward my giant eyes. It was real-time satellite footage showing the ocean less than 100 kilometers from our city. A massive 100-meter tsunami was surging, and from those towering dark waves, an 80-meter monster was charging forward. It looked like a Lovecraftian nightmare, its body like a mountain of living flesh with 8 steel pillar tentacles. Each tentacle was covered in barbs capable of crushing battle tanks. Ding High Energy Warning System has detected a Tier 7 cataclysmic beast, the Abyssal Fiend Octopus. This creature carries lethal toxins and corrosive ink with extreme regenerative power. Danger level maximum. Tier 7, I almost choked to death on that walrus meat. I am only a Tier 2 mutant, and even though I have reached 50 meters and can punch above my weight against Tier 4 or 5 enemies, jumping straight to an 80-meter Tier 7 monster is suicidal. Jiang City's 10 defense lines were shattered in a single strike. Chu Won-kyu collapsed, sobbing hysterically. My dad led the forces to the front, but weapons can barely scratch it. It is heading straight for the city, and millions of citizens cannot evacuate. My heart skipped a beat. Downtown. Suddenly an image flashed in my mind of that little boy holding his Iron Man toy, screaming, "The great general is invincible," from the cable car. Xuan Xuan. His home was right in the coastal zone. In my past life, I was a nobody ignored by everyone. If I died, no one would have even buried me. But in this life, I am the guardian of this land. These humans buy me the finest meat, call me the guardian black dragon, and treat me like a hero. Now some mutated seafood wants to trash my home. Screw that, nobody touches my fans except me. Nobody. I threw back my head and unleashed a deafening roar that literally shattered the clouds. My 50-meter massive body coiled up and stood tall on the beach. My black gold scales reflected a cold, deadly light in the sun. Ignoring Chu Won-kyu's panicked screams, I smashed right through the base's massive steel gates and bolted toward the city like a streak of black lightning. Ding! System alert. Host is engaging a high-tier enemy. Hidden quest Wrath of the Guardian triggered. Performance determines early unlock of Supreme Evolution. Hearing that voice in my head, my battle lust exploded. System dumped my remaining 100,000 reputation points into Storm Speed Ding. Exchange successful. Host speed boosted by 300% for 1 hour. Boom, my body burst forward, leaving after images the eye couldn't track. Despite weighing 10 tons, my slithering form broke the sound barrier. The air ripped around my massive frame, creating a deafening sonic boom. Meanwhile, the Zhangcheng Cross-Sea Bridge had already transformed into a living hell. That 80-meter-tall abyssal rock octopus had crawled onto land. With a single casual swipe, its mountain-like tentacles snapped the bridge's massive concrete pillars. With a heavy rumble, the entire deck tilted violently, leaving countless trapped cars sliding into the churning sea like falling dominoes. Covered in blood, Chu Pojin stood on an armored command vehicle, roaring hoarsely. "Fire, give it everything! We cannot let this thing step foot into the city." Hundreds of main battle tanks and attack helicopters poured fire onto the octopus. But when the smoke cleared, its thick, stony hide showed only faint white scratches. A flash of human-like mockery gleamed in its crimson eyes. Its 8 tentacles suddenly shot outward. Swoosh several. Attack helicopters were instantly snatched and crushed into balls of scrap metal. Then opening a sickening maw lined with thousands of barbs, it spat out a stream of pitch-black corrosive ink. Sizzle. The sludge rained down on the tank lines. Even the toughest composite armor melted into liquid iron in seconds. Screams echoed everywhere as the defensive line collapsed into absolute chaos. Is this the end of humanity? Chu Pojin closed his eyes in total despair. Just then, on the edge of the shattered bridge, a school bus teetered precariously on the guardrail. Through a smashed window, a little boy hung halfway out, gripping the frame. It was young Zhuanshuan. Tears streaming down his face, he still clutched his plastic Iron Man toy, sobbing, "Mom the Great. Black Dragon General will save us, right?" The abyssal rock octopus noticed the noise on the bridge. It raised a massive tentacle and slammed it down toward the bus, casting a shadow of absolute destruction. No Chu Pojin, and millions watching the live stream roared in despair. Everyone thought the child was dead. But at that critical life and death split second, a deafening boom erupted from the end of the ruined streets. Boom. A massive black and gold shadow surging with raw, unstoppable fury launched dozens of meters into the sky like an anti-ship missile. I slammed violently into the tentacle targeted at the school bus. Bang and earth-shattering collision sent a visible shockwave rippling through the air. That 10,000-ton Rank 7 beast actually staggered backward from my suicidal collision. Its massive tentacle veered off course, crashing heavily into the sea and throwing up a massive wall of water. The recoil flung me back over 100 meters, crashing through 3 buildings before I finally stopped. My bones felt completely shattered. Damn, this Rank 7 mutant has a seriously hard shell. Shaking my dizzy head, I crawled out of the rubble, raising my dusty python head to block the bridge. Facing that 80-meter-tall monster, I unleashed a roar of pure defiance. You ugly freak trying to run wild on my turf. At that moment, all of Zhangcheng and everyone watching across the nation erupted in chaos. It is the Guardian Black Dragon. He didn't run. He is fighting a Rank 7 beast for us. I knew he would come to save us. Xuan cried out. The abyssal rock octopus was completely enraged by my strike. It twisted its hideous head, locking its crimson eyes onto me. To him, my 50-meter body was just a slightly larger loach. Letting out a grating laugh, it whipped 3 massive tentacles straight down at me. They moved so fast, they sparked in the air. I couldn't dodge. The attack range was too wide. All I could do was push my black gold scales to their absolute limit, coiling tightly to the ground. Bring it on. Let's see who's tougher. Boom. The tentacles slammed onto my back like a falling mountain. Crack. My proud scales fractured under the blow, covered in a web of cracks. Bright red blood poured from between my black gold armor as I was driven deep into the ground. An agonizing, gut-wrenching pain flared, but I grit my teeth, refusing to make a sound. Xiaofan, run! You can't beat him! Chu Wangqiu cried hysterically through my communicator. I glanced back. Behind me was the school bus of kids and millions of helpless civilians. If I take one step back, they all become seafood feed. Run my ass, I cursed. Flexing my muscles, I forced myself up against those massive tentacles, slowly dragging myself out of the crater. I am the Guardian, Black Dragon. Nobody runs wild on my turf. Without my permission, I clamped my jaws onto its tentacle joint. System skill. Elemental. Breath annihilation. Black flames. At point-blank range, I unleashed the compressed black flames through my teeth. Boom. The black fire, burning as hot as the sun's core, incinerated its flesh. The stench of burnt squid instantly filled the air. Shrieking in agony, the monster lashed out with its remaining tentacles like vipers. Pft, pft, pft. 3 venomous barbed tentacles stabbed straight through my belly and spine. The toxin spread instantly, blurring my vision as my strength drained away. The octopus flung me violently into the air. Like a broken rag doll, I crashed into the bridge pillar, blood staining the concrete. This time, I truly couldn't get up. My 50-meter body lay limp in the ruins, my breathing growing faint. No black dragon. Chupojin wept, slamming his fist onto the vehicle. In the stream, hundreds of millions of viewers watched this tragic scene and wept. He is just an animal. Why is he doing this for us? Please, just run. We won't blame you. The abyssal rock octopus stared down at me, contempt in its eyes, as it raised its burnt tentacle, preparing to crush me into pulp. But at this moment of despair, a miracle happened. Xuan, the 6-year-old boy on the bridge, did not run. Summoning unknown courage, he crawled out of the damaged bus. He grabbed an emergency megaphone, turned it on, and pressed his cheap plastic Iron Man toy against the microphone. A miracle will happen. Iron Man's heroic heavy metal theme song blared through the speaker, echoing tragically across the ruins. Xuan's cracking, desperate voice rang out, "General, stand up. You can't lose. You are our guardian." This single cry was like a spark that instantly ignited the hopeless city. The remaining civilians and the bloodied soldiers, someone started it, and suddenly everyone with bloodshot eyes began screaming toward me in unison. "Guardian Black Dragon, stand up. Stand up." The roar of a million voices surged into the sky like a tidal wave. Their tears and hopes became the purest emotional energy. Ding. Detected immense and pure faith energy. Host reputation has broken through 10 million. Warning, host vital signs are critical. Triggering desperate nirvana. Congratulations. You have unlocked the hidden reward, the ancient heaven. Swallowing python bloodline. Emergency evolve now. A deafening red alert blared in my head. Feeling the fatal pain in my gut and hearing the desperate cries of millions behind me, my slitted eyes rekindled with physical black flames. Fuse it! Fuse everything, I roared in my mind. Instantly the world shook. Buzz. A terrifyingly ancient cosmic aura exploded violently from deep within my broken body. The deadly tentacle plunging toward me was suddenly deflected just half a meter from my head by a visible black barrier. What is that? Everyone gasped in shock as my body was wrapped in a blinding black cocoon of light. The barbs impaling me were violently forced out my wounds, healing instantly. Even more terrifyingly, my body began a cataclysmic growth. 60, 80, 90, 100 meters. When the cocoon shattered, a 100-meter-long ultimate python, looking like it crawled from prehistoric myth, towered over the Zhangcheng coastline. My body was as thick as a skyscraper. The scales on my back now bore deep, chaotic starlight patterns. My head became majestic and terrifying on the verge of turning into a dragon. Every breath spewing scorching black mist. Evolution complete. Current species, ancient titan heaven. Swallowing python, rank 8 ultimate body. Gained passive heaven, devouring tyrant body immune to toxin defense boosted by 500%. Gained active void devourer and titan annihilation constriction. I raised my head looking down at the octopus that once dwarfed me, now completely suppressed. Absolute terror finally filled its crimson eyes. Trembling, it backed away, trying to flee. I opened my massive maw, wide enough to swallow a cruise ship, and unleashed a roar that shook the ocean. This time it was pure one-sided slaughter. My titan body teleported right in front of the octopus. Bang, I whipped my tail against its head, shattering its skull instantly. The rank 7 beast crashed down, flattening half the street. Before he struggled to rise, but I opened my massive jaws and bit down hard on his core tentacle. Snap under my ultimate python bite force, that unbreakable limb shattered instantly. Thick green blood erupted like a fountain. Screaming in agony, the giant octopus thrashed wildly. Its remaining tentacles lashed desperately against my tyrant body, failing to leave even a single scratch. I sneered. You enjoyed hitting me earlier, didn't you? I raised my 50-meter tail, covered in dark chaos runes, carving a terrifying sonic trail through the air. Dragon tail whip, titan slam, boom. This strike landed perfectly right in the center of his massive body. His indestructible skin instantly collapsed over a massive area as organs and slime splattered everywhere. He was broken, lying in the ruins like a pile of mush. But I was not letting him off. This beast almost killed my little human fan. He had to be utterly erased. Without a trace. Standing before his shattered body, I unhinged my jaw. A terrifying, light-devouring black hole formed deep inside my mouth. Ultimate skill. Void Devour. Boom. A massive gravitational vortex instantly enveloped the giant octopus without any suspense. This terrifying power shredded the 80-meter-tall level 7 beast, dragging him straight into my stomach. Even the ocean behind him was sucked bone dry by the sheer gravity exposing the deep seabed. Dead silence. In the stream, billions of viewers stared at this miracle, too stunned to even type. Only when the heavy mist finally cleared did it reveal my invincible titan form standing proud against the blood-red sunset and unmatched. Ding level 7 deep sea, demon octopus slain. Massive purification energy acquired. Level 7 beast core obtained. I let out a loud seafood-flavored burp and slowly turned around. My fierce, cold eyes softened as I looked at the shivering, hopeful humans on the broken bridge. Slithering my massive body forward, I approached the school bus dangling in midair. With my giant snout, I gently nudged it back onto the safe bridge. Xuan stared at me, her Iron Man toy slipping to the ground. I flicked my tongue and forced a stiff, snake-like smile. General Shi burst into tears, reaching out her tiny hand to touch my massive scales. Instantly, the entire city erupted into heaven-shaking cheers. We won Long Live the Black Dragon. The general is invincible. Countless people wept and hugged, and even Commander Chu Pojin's legs went weak with emotion as he bowed deeply toward me. Chu Wankyu drove her jeep right up to my feet like crazy. Staring at my mountain-sized body, she looked thrilled, yet terrified, not daring to hug me like before. I lowered my head on purpose, flicking my massive tongue to mess up her hair. Crying again, you silly girl, I teased in my mind. After that battle, Lin Fan became a legend. All of humanity saw me as their ultimate hope against mutant beasts and the apocalypse. To thank me, the military actually retrofitted a massive artificial island. They covered it with premium soft sand flown in from around the world, planted lush tropical forests, and even built a giant heated hot spring lake for me. This is my home now. My meals are no longer ordinary mutants, but high-level sea beasts killed by the military and delivered right to me as snacks, like level 5 deep-sea giant sharks and level 6 violent electric eels. I wouldn't swap this life for anything. I spent a year in pure luxury on my private island. No clocking in, no annoying bosses. All I had to do was open my mouth and heavy military helicopters would drop premium seafood right in. This level 6 giant crab roe is decent, just needs a bit of vinegar. Soaking in my heated pool, chewing a shell the size of a truck. Chu Wankyu, wearing a custom military research uniform, stood behind the bulletproof glass corridor. Holding a tablet, she reported to me, Xiaofan today, global mutant attacks have dropped by 90%. With you guarding the coastline, those intelligent sea beasts do not dare approach our waters. Talk about status reborn, from a corporate slave. I have single-handedly become the guardian deity for over 1 billion people. Countless girls online even begged to have my babies well baby snakes. Ding Host has dominated global hot searches. Total adoration points exceeded 50 million. Bloodline attributes passively upgraded. Hearing that sweet system voice in my mind, I rolled over comfortably, making the entire island shake. Amazing, I wouldn't trade this for the throne of heaven. But just when I thought I could relax and eat seafood forever, disaster struck without warning. A piercing, highest-level red alert suddenly shrieked inside my head and across the military base. Warning. Ultimate. Warning. Extremely destructive mutant energy detected deep in the Mariana Trench. Target level estimated at peak level 9, the Abyssal Ancient Dragon. Threat level capable of erasing Earth's surface ecology. I snapped my head out of the heated water, my 100-meter Titan body kicking up massive waves. Peak level 9, I am only level 5. Isn't that gap a bit too ridiculous? System, are you kidding me? Outside. Alarm screamed. Commander Chu Pojin's hologram cut directly onto my command screen. This iron-willed warrior was pale, his hands trembling. Lin Fan disaster has struck, the Pacific Ocean rift has collapsed. An abyssal ancient dragon over 600 meters long has emerged. The Coalition's 3 carrier groups didn't last a minute before being wiped out. It triggered a 500-meter world-ending tsunami heading straight for our coast at terrifying speed. Nuclear strikes are authorized, but against his death field nukes cannot detonate near him. A 600-meter beast and a 500-meter tsunami that is a catastrophe that could wipe out our entire continental shelf. Every broadcast in the world was now switched to satellite feeds. On screen, a colossal dragon of pale bone with ghostly fire burning in its eyes was churning the ocean. Every beat of its wings unleashed a Category 12 hurricane. The pressure was suffocating. We are finished. Humanity is doomed. Countless people fell to their knees weeping. Chu Wankyu stared at me through the glass tears streaming down her face. Xiaofan the military has prepared a doomsday bunker. Retreat with us. You can't beat him. I stared at the flexing level 9 dragon on the screen. Instead of fear, a wild, burning battle intent erupted in my cold eyes. I worked hard to become the guardian dragon and enjoy this luxury. You bag of bones dare mess with my food, my fans, and my island, screw you. Even at level 9, I am tearing you apart for soup. Roar, I let out an earth-shattering laugh. The bulletproof glass of the entire base shattered from the sound wave. I did not run. I leaped from the island directly into the ocean. What are you doing? Chupojun cried. I could not speak, but my actions said it all. Channeling all my energy into the ocean, I surged forward, carving a massive white wake and breaking the sound barrier as I charged toward the 500-meter tsunami. Online billions of viewers went absolutely wild. Oh my God, the serpent. God is charging the tsunami. What is this legendary story? Go, General, fight. Fight the world-ending beast. The black dragon never retreats. Go, General. Minutes later, the 500-meter tsunami pressed down like a collapsing sky. At its peak, that massive 600-meter abyssal dragon stared down with burning, ghostly eyes. Next to him, my 100-meter body looked like a tiny toy. An ant dares block my path. This level 9 monster was actually using telepathy to mock me. Ant, I am your ancestor. I cursed in my head, speeding up. System. Take all 50 million reputation points I saved this year and roll the wheel. Just kill this thing. Empty the entire vault. Ding crisis detected. Activating the ultimate survival gacha. Rolling now. Congratulations. You obtained the passive skill Death Reversal. Upon taking fatal damage, instantly restore to 100% health and unleash 10 times battle power. Congratulations, Ultimate Bloodline. Awakened Chaos. Devouring Dragon. You can now swallow everything. Congratulations. You unlocked the ultimate active skill. Chaos. Annihilation. Strangle unleashing power, far exceeding your current realm. Miracles unlocked. I went completely wild. Let's fight. I crashed head-on into the 500-meter tsunami. Boom. The skeleton dragon opened its jaws, blasting ghostly death light right through my body, my health dropping instantly to 0. But with Death Reversal, the moment of death restored me to 100% and multiplied my power 10 times. I let out a true dragon roar. My massive body slammed onto his neck like black lightning. Level 9. In the water, I am the boss. I bit down hard on his skeletal neck. Chaos, ultimate annihilation, strangle. Instantly, global satellite feeds went completely blank. The power inside me exploded. The ocean erupted as if hit by a multi-megaton nuke. Dragging that 600-meter skeleton dragon down, I unleashed a supersonic death roll. The friction boiled the ocean instantly, turning vast waters into white steam. Deep-sea volcanoes erupted from the sheer force. The abyssal dragon shrieked in absolute agony and mental torment. He tried to slash me with bone wings, but it was too late. Under my tenfold power boost, even a level 9 god could not survive this brutal physical crush. Cracks. That arrogant 600-meter 9th rank Abyssal Ancient Dragon was actually shredded into a cloud of bone dust by me, a mere 100-meter giant python. I was completely drenched in blood, my scales shattered to pieces. I was exhausted to my absolute limit, but I clamped my jaws around his energy-packed 9th rank death core. Activating Void Devour, I swallowed it whole. System alert, peak. 9th rank core. Devoured host body, transcending limits. Congratulations. Ultimate Bloodline, awakened. Officially evolving into a cosmic level life form, the cosmic chaotic heaven devouring dragon. As the heavens rumbled and changed color, I underwent my ultimate evolution before the shocked eyes of billions of people. My body size from 100 meters exploded to a terrifying 1,000 meters. My scales turned into cosmic radiation-absorbing chaotic armor. 5 claws ripped through my belly and dark gold horns, the mark of a cosmic king, crowned my head. Even my breath warped the space around me. I slowly rose from the ocean. My 1,000-meter divine body gleamed under the sunlight like a true god descending to earth. Then I unleashed a galaxy-shaking roar. Transmitted by satellites, my voice echoed in every single corner of the globe. We won. Our guardian deity tore the 9th rank dragon apart. The black dragon is invincible, from the supreme commander of the 9 provinces to foreign leaders across the ocean. Everyone stood up, saluting my godlike form on the screen. Xuanxuan cheered in front of the TV until her voice went hoarse, holding up her Iron Man toy. Chu Wangqiu collapsed to the floor, laughing through her tears. After that battle, every mutated beast on Earth felt my terrifying cosmic level pressure. Not a single monster dared to step out of the deep sea again. True peace had arrived. In the center of the Pacific, I reigned from a massive offshore fortress built by the global coalition, enjoying the finest tribute food from around the world. Ah, how lonely it is to be invincible. Another year went by. I was lying lazily on my fortress, picking my teeth with a 30-meter steel bar, feeling bored out of my mind. But just as I yawned, ready for a nap, my long silent system suddenly chimed with a crisp alert. Ding space folding anomaly detected near Pluto's orbit at the edge of the solar system. A cosmic wormhole has opened. An armada from 10,000 cosmic races is approaching. They aim to colonize and hunt Earth. Please prepare host. I paused in surprise, then my massive vertical pupils narrowed. A cruel, thrilled grin spread across my snout as my colossal body slowly rose. My 1,000-meter chaotic dragon body stretched out, blotting out the sky. I looked up, my gaze piercing through the atmosphere into the deep, endless void. A fleet of 10,000 races, beasts above the 10th rank. I let out a massive tongue, letting out a galaxy-shaking wild laugh. I wonder if these deep space seafood dishes taste good grilled with cumin. Looks like my cozy retirement has to be put on hold again. After all our journey, now is the sea of stars.